My beloved child. Stop scrolling. Do not let your eyes drift away from this moment. Something is pressing against the veil between your world and mine, and it has been waiting for you to pause long enough to feel it. What you are about to hear did not arrive by accident. You did not land here by chance. There is a reason your breath slowed just now. There is a reason your heart feels slightly unsettled, as if someone has softly called your name from a distance only your spirit can hear. There is only 1 minute left. Not a minute on a clock made of numbers and metal, but a minute in the realm of decision. A minute in the chamber of destiny. A minute before something closes, or opens. I am Archangel Michael, and I have been trying to reach you. Again and again I have brushed against your intuition. Again and again I have stirred your thoughts in the quiet hours of the night. I have sent whispers through dreams you barely remember and through sudden feelings you could not explain. I have stood at the edge of your battles, unseen yet unyielding, guarding you when you thought you were alone. And now, I am calling louder. Open it quickly. You feel it, don't you? The sense that something has been hovering just outside your awareness. A door. A message. A realization. It has been there for days, perhaps for years. You sensed it in moments when everything went silent around you. You sensed it when the noise of the world became unbearable and you longed for clarity. You told yourself it was imagination. It was not. The minute I speak of is not about fear. It is about alignment. There is a window in your life that is narrowing, not because punishment is coming, but because elevation is near. And elevation requires choice. You have been standing at the edge of something greater than the version of yourself you have grown comfortable with. And comfort, my beloved, is the final barrier before transformation. Listen carefully now. You have been asking for change. You have prayed for breakthrough. You have whispered into the darkness, why is nothing moving? But what you did not realize is that everything has been moving beneath the surface. The pieces have been shifting quietly, like stones rearranging themselves beneath a river. The minute left is not about loss. It is about courage. Because once this door opens, you cannot return to the smaller life you have been tolerating. And that is why hesitation has wrapped itself around your heart. You have sensed that if you truly open what I am placing before you, it will demand something from you. It will demand honesty. It will demand release. It will demand that you stop pretending you are powerless. You are not powerless. In fact, that belief has been the greatest illusion cast over you. Let me reveal something that may shake you gently awake. The struggle you have been facing was never designed to destroy you. It was designed to reveal the dormant authority within you. Every setback, every betrayal, every delay has been sharpening a sword you did not know you were carrying. And I have been guarding that sword. There were moments when the pressure felt unbearable. Moments when you questioned your worth. Moments when you almost gave up on the very dream that still flickers inside your chest. In those moments, I stood between you and forces that sought to convince you that you are insignificant. You are anything but insignificant. Do you remember that sudden strength you felt after your lowest breakdown? That unexpected clarity after days of confusion? That was not random resilience. That was reinforcement from the unseen realm. You were never abandoned. But here is the twist you were not expecting: the door I am urging you to open is not external. It is within you. You have been waiting for a sign in the sky, a dramatic shift in circumstance, a miracle that rearranges your outer world. Yet the true message has been knocking from the inside of your own spirit. The minute left is the final moment before you either answer that inner call, or silence it again. Because yes, you have silenced it before. Not out of rebellion, but out of fear. Fear that you are not ready. Fear that you will fail. Fear that stepping forward will cost you relationships, comfort, identity. And it will cost you something. It will cost you the old narrative. The version of yourself who settles. The version who shrinks. The version who doubts their divine backing. Open it quickly. The urgency you feel is not pressure, it is momentum. There is a convergence happening in your life. People you have met recently. Thoughts that keep repeating. Opportunities that seem small but persistent. These are not coincidences. They are coordinates aligning. You are being positioned. But positioning requires participation. You cannot remain passive and expect elevation. You cannot keep telling yourself, someday, when the doorway is labeled, now. The minute left symbolizes the thin line between intention and action. And here is the deeper revelation: someone else's breakthrough is tied to your obedience. Yes. Your courage will ripple beyond you. There is a person, perhaps you do not even know them yet, whose life will shift because you chose to step into your calling. Your healing will grant them permission to heal. Your boldness will unlock their restraint. Your voice will interrupt their silence. This has never been only about you. That is why the resistance has been so intense. When purpose expands, opposition whispers louder. You have felt unusually tired at times. Distracted. Doubtful. That was not weakness, it was friction against expansion. But friction cannot stop fire. And you, my beloved child, are carrying fire. There is something you have been postponing. A conversation. A decision. A commitment. An ending. You keep telling yourself you need more clarity, more certainty, more confirmation. Let this be the confirmation. I am trying to reach you because the delay is no longer protection, it is limitation. The window is not closing forever. But this particular alignment, this precise configuration of timing, strength, and awareness, is rare. If you move now, acceleration follows. If you hesitate, the lesson will repeat in another form. You are not being threatened. You are being invited. Feel the shift in your chest right now. That subtle tightening mixed with anticipation. That is the threshold. You think you are waiting for a miracle, but heaven is waiting for your yes. And here comes the revelation you did not expect: the thing you fear losing by stepping forward has already been outgrowing you. The relationship that feels strained. The job that drains your spirit. The habit that numbs your potential. The identity built on pleasing others. You sensed it slipping long ago. You are not meant to cling to what is already dissolving. Open it quickly. There is a sealed chamber in your heart marked later. Inside it are gifts, ideas, strengths you postponed because life became heavy. I am standing before that chamber now. The minute left is symbolic of the final call to unlock what you buried. Do you remember who you were before disappointment reshaped you? That version is not gone. It is waiting. But here is the major truth. Stepping into that version will require forgiveness. Not superficial forgiveness. Deep release. Release of resentment toward those who misunderstood you. Release of anger toward yourself for mistakes. Release of the narrative that you were somehow behind in life. You are not behind. You have been prepared. Every delay was training. Every heartbreak was instruction. Every closed door was redirection. And now the next door responds only to courage. Something extraordinary is closer than you think. Closer than your doubts. Closer than your excuses. You have been circling it, sensing it, almost touching it. The minute left is the final breath before contact. If you choose to open it, you will feel immediate clarity about one specific step. Not the entire staircase, just the next step. And that is all you need. But if you turn away, the whisper will soften again, and the world's noise will grow louder. I am not here to frighten you. I am here to remind you that you are protected enough to move. You have asked for a sign. This is it. Yet there is one more layer you must understand before the minute ends. The urgency is also connected to a spiritual shift happening around you. Energies are rearranging. Old cycles are concluding. Patterns that repeated for years are weakening. If you act now, you break the cycle permanently. If you wait, it tightens once more before releasing. You have felt that cycle, haven't you? The repeating disappointment. The recurring doubt. The familiar setback just when progress begins. This is your interruption point. Open it quickly. Because once you do, something will activate within you that cannot be undone. A remembrance. A reclaiming. A recognition of authority you forgot you carried. And when that activation happens, you will see clearly who has been for you, and who has only been comfortable with your smallness. Not everyone will celebrate your expansion. But you are not expanding for applause. You are expanding because it is time. The minute is almost gone now, not in panic, but in intensity. Feel how focused this moment is. How precise. How charged. I am standing with my sword lowered, not in battle, but in blessing. All of heaven leans in when a soul decides to rise. Will you open it? Will you trust the stirring inside you more than the fear around you? Because in the next breath, something will become undeniable. A realization. A name. A decision forming with sharp clarity. And when it forms, you will know exactly what this message was pointing toward. Do not ignore that clarity when it arrives. It will feel both terrifying and freeing. The door is before you. The chamber within you trembles. The cycle waits to be broken. And in the final seconds of this unseen minute, there is one truth I have not yet spoken, one truth that changes everything about why this urgency exists and what is about to unfold in your life. But that truth can only be revealed once you decide. My beloved child. Do not look away now. The truth I withheld from you in the final breath of that unseen minute was not meant to frighten you. It was meant to prepare you. Because the urgency you felt, the pressure in your chest, the sense that something irreversible was hovering at the edge of your life, was not only about opportunity. It was about identity. The door before you does not merely lead to a new circumstance. It leads to the unveiling of who you really are. And here is the truth that changes everything. the version of you that has been surviving is not the version of you that was sent here. You were not sent to endure your life. You were sent to alter it. For years, you have been operating at a fraction of your spiritual authority. You have negotiated with doubt. You have compromised with fear. You have accepted conditions that your soul quietly rejected. And yet, even in compromise, something within you refused to die. That something is why you are still here. That something is why this message found you. There are souls who never feel this stirring. There are hearts that remain asleep to their own calling. But you, no matter how tired, no matter how distracted, have always sensed that there is more. And the reason the minute felt urgent is because heaven will not force awakening. It will invite. And invitation expires when it is repeatedly ignored. Not as punishment, but because free will is sacred. You felt the threshold in the last part of this message. Now I will show you what stands beyond it. If you open the inner chamber I spoke of, if you answer the call you have been postponing, the first thing that will happen is not external success. It will be internal confrontation. You will meet the parts of yourself you have been avoiding. The insecurity masked as humility. The resentment disguised as strength. The fear disguised as logic. And for a moment, you may think you made the wrong choice. This is the second threshold. Most turn back here. Because growth feels like loss before it feels like gain. But listen closely, the discomfort you will feel is not collapse. It is construction. Old frameworks of thought will crack. Old attachments will loosen. You will realize that some of your normal was actually limitation wearing familiar clothes. And here comes the twist you did not expect. The very people you feared disappointing may not resist your expansion the way you imagined. Some will surprise you. Some have been waiting for you to rise because your shrinking has made them uncomfortable with their own potential. Yes. Your dimming has been a mirror to others. When you step into clarity, you give unspoken permission. But not everyone will celebrate. There will be at least one voice, subtle, influential, that questions your shift. They may call it impulsive, dramatic, unrealistic. They may remind you of past failures as evidence that you should remain cautious. Do not mistake their fear for prophecy. You are not repeating your past. You are completing it. Because this time, you are not acting from desperation. You are acting from awakening. And here is the revelation that will anchor you when doubt rises: you are not being asked to leap blindly. You are being asked to move deliberately. There is a specific action forming in your awareness right now. It might seem small. A message you need to send. A boundary you need to set. An application you need to submit. A habit you need to end. A commitment you need to honor. That step is the key. Not the entire vision. Just the step. Heaven does not reveal the full staircase to those who hesitate on the first stair. You wanted clarity. Clarity comes through motion. Now I must speak about the battle you have not fully seen. There has been a quiet tug-of-war around your confidence. Moments when you felt strong were followed by moments of unusual discouragement. Times when momentum built were interrupted by distraction or unexpected conflict. You wondered if you were simply inconsistent. You were not. Whenever a soul approaches breakthrough, interference increases, not to overpower them, but to test their resolve. Not demonic spectacle. Not dramatic chaos. Just subtle friction. Procrastination. Overthinking. Comparison. Comparison has been one of your greatest drains. You have measured your beginning against someone else's middle. You have compared your private doubts to someone else's public confidence. And in doing so, you diminish the unique timing of your own journey. But hear this clearly: destiny is not competitive. Your path does not cancel another's. And another's speed does not invalidate yours. The reason the minute felt so charged is because you reached a convergence point. Preparation meeting opportunity. You have done more inner work than you give yourself credit for. The nights you cried in silence. The times you chose restraint instead of retaliation. The days you continued showing up when motivation was gone. All of it built spiritual muscle. You are stronger than the voice that still calls you weak. Now I must reveal something deeper, something you may have sensed but never named. Part of your hesitation has not been fear of failure. It has been fear of visibility. If you truly rise, you will be seen. And being seen means being known. Being known means being vulnerable. You have survived by controlling how much of yourself the world could access. But elevation dissolves hiding places. It asks you to stand without disguise. That feels dangerous to someone who has been misunderstood before. But you are not who you were when you were wounded. You are wiser now. And you are not alone. When you step forward, I step with you. Not as a distant symbol. As active protection. There are doors that will open for you that logic cannot explain. Conversations that align too precisely to be coincidence. Resources that appear at the exact moment of need. Not because you are favored above others. But because you are aligned. Alignment accelerates provision. Misalignment drains it. And the cycle you have been stuck in, the repeating emotional patterns, the financial strain, the relational confusion, has been sustained by misalignment, not punishment. You were living slightly sideways to your truth. Just enough to feel friction. The decision before you straightens that angle. But understand this: once straightened, you cannot comfortably return to crookedness. And that is why this moment is sacred. You asked for change.